Okay, welcome. Christina Merkley here for one of the process pop-ups. It's a Sunday, I think it's the 21st of March, if I remember right. And it's something around process pop-up 29, maybe even 30. They've been happening for the last year. And they're just a drop in. I'll tee it up in a second. We're gonna go into meditation to start with. If you're new to meditation, all it means is just to the best of your ability to just sit quietly for 10 minutes. It helps with just kind of coming together here and letting go of whatever needs to be let go of so we can be present with each other. And it's just a really remarkable opportunity to do something like this, even in the online experience, right? To sit with each other in stillness. It's okay if you don't get to stillness or there's a bunch of stuff that happens, thoughts or feelings. Just do your best as those things come up to just give them a little kiss and thank them, and then go back to looking for the stillness, right? It's actually there behind everything. Okay, so with that little preamble, I will set my alarm here for 10 minutes. I have to keep half an eye open because sometimes we have people who join us. So you'll see me occasionally opening my eyes to check if anybody's here and just letting them through. Let me go find my 10-minute thing. Otherwise, on another forum, I had screwed up my clock and it was on for 10 hours, not 10 minutes. So we went for about double time. We didn't go 10 hours, we did 20 minutes. So that's not gonna happen today because I've got 10 minutes here, yeah. But if you want to continue with stillness, by all means, keep going beyond the 10 minutes. Okay. So with that, let's slip into it. Hey, welcome, welcome. Thank you. That's always a gift. You have to take some precious time and just sit with one another. Audrey's joining us for the first time. Laurie, it's been a little bit since you've been here. Same for you, Cheryl. So I'll just rattle a little bit about the container and what tends to occur, but it's different every time. So we're going to co-create it together here in a second. So we'll see. This is an ongoing, evolving container. I created it back when the pandemic hit North America a year ago. And people just find their way here when they do, and come back when they do. And it's just an opportunity to be with whatever is up. And the being can be anywhere across the emotional scale. So everybody's having a very individual experience with what's going on in the world at large. So it's okay if you're totally fine at the tippy top of the emotional scale. Some people are actually having very positive, enjoyable experiences with how this is impacting and trickling down for them. Other people can be on the flip opposite. So in grief and in despair and deep sadness. Maybe even an incremental up into anger and rage and frustration. Or maybe somewhere in that middle zone, which is like boredom and distraction and various things. And then again, move and kind of keep going up is into just hope and positive expectation. And at the tippy top would be just appreciation and love and gratitude. So any of that is welcome. And it can change moment to moment. And if you've been here before, you might have been somewhere on the emotional scale. And when you come here today, you might be somewhere else, or maybe the same. I'm a process person, so I use a lot of different methods to help groups and individuals think and feel. So I have a whole whack of tools that if you've watched any of the recordings, I sometimes will pull on and bring them up, visual templates to help focus the thinking and feeling. Sometimes I just work from blank paper, since we're all working digital here, digital paper. And the processes can really vary depending on what's kind of showing up in the container. We do quite a lot lately of self-inquiry, which I really adore doing because I learn so much as I work with each person and have the privilege of drawing out what's inside of them and reflecting that back and taking it in the wisdom layers. It teaches me more and more about the human experience and about consciousness at large. So we'll see if inquiry shows up here today. Constellation sometimes shows up, polarity work. So I don't know. This is what makes it so fascinating for me too, is just kind of being in the now and seeing what unfolds. Two things that we usually start with. One is if there's any reports. By the way, everything's like voluntary. You don't have to speak if you don't care to. And we have a nice small group. So chances are that there will be the opportunity to do process work if you care to. Even if you don't speak or participate, you're here. And so your energy is part of things and you're holding space, which is a very valued part of things. Oh yes, two things, reports. So if you have been here before, or even if you haven't, you might want to, if there's anything you want to report on about your awareness journey or your inner work journey at large that you're noticing or want to share on. Some people come back over and over again, so we get to see a through line with them and what they're working and how that's unfolding. So reports are always welcome. How's it going for you if you've been here before? And then anything that's up, right? So anything that's arising that you'd like the group, the Sanghas help here on. And then we just find our way, right? As you bring things forward into the container, I just kind of use my spidey senses or whatever to go, oh, maybe we'll use this tool or we'll do this process. So we co-create it together here. It's all done together. So that's the preamble. So let's start. Are there any reports? And then if there's something that's arising that you'd like to explore, let me know that too, and we'll find our way and find out what's going to happen today. I don't think you can hear it, but I'm in an art and cultural center, and there's a art teacher or music teacher next door. And Sundays he does for his church. Him and his band do the online service. I really love it, but you might hear music, and so that's what's going on. He's accompanying us.
I'll do a check-in and report. So I have a visual to accompany it. My iPad and Apple Pencil, which was on one of the visual maps at some point with you, Christina, where I said, wouldn't it be nice if work provided me with the tools that I needed to take it to the next step? So it's actually here in my hand, and that's pretty incredible for me. And then the other visual is my notebook, which says visual coach training, which starts in just over a week, I think.
Yeah.
And so that also was supported by work. And those two things have shown up on maps that I've done with you before. So very exciting for me. And I've been diving into it's spring break. I'm a teacher. I'm on spring break. I've been diving into your switch into digital work. Starting to go through those modules and really enjoying that, and appreciating that resource that you and Lisa and Karen created. So that's an update. And then the other update is in BC. As a teacher, we just were put up on the list for vaccination. So that was really exciting to think that that's coming our way. So I'm feeling grateful for that, feeling privileged that I'm in that place, that is, and we're in that corner of the world where that's happening. And it was just and kind of where I'm at. It was very interesting when that news came. I was very excited. And then I was surprised to have this flip side of like, oh, does that mean I have to start re-engaging with the world again? And so this really interesting little balance of, it just surprised me a bit when I stopped and thought about it. Maybe not as surprising, but I was like, oh yeah, like there's been something really valuable about the time and space, really to do a lot of reflection and trying to slow down, which is, for me, easier said than done. And so realizing that there'll be a little bit of a journey ahead in that for all of us, how we re-engage and step back in as the light in that the end of the tunnel is becoming brighter. So, and I'm just happy to be here in this container that you've created.
Thank you. Congratulations on your manifestation.
Thanks.
And polarities as well, just hearing, and it might be different nuances for you, but hearing in and out or alone or together, or reflection versus engagement, right? Kind of different poles. Yeah. Thanks, Kristen.
I can do a check-in.
Hey, Laurie, hi.
Hello. So I'm in first year of law school, and I finished April 23rd. It's been quite the experience.
Now the reality, right? Not just on paper. Wow, cool.
It's been a tough year for sure. Like I thought I was doing a lot of inner work. Well, I needed to go to law school to really just do some more. So it's been interesting. The last couple of papers that I've written, they're reflective papers. So I always end up talking about Indigenous issues because I'm an Indigenous law student, and I always end up talking about anger. So and I knew that was going to happen. It's very common for Indigenous students that are, you're enveloped in this Western colonial kind of system, law system, right? That there's some, you know, it's a tough situation to be in. And some of the concepts I actually have a really hard time understanding because it's just not the way I think, you know, like a lot of the legal theories. The last paper I wrote was about how legal theories, like they match the government's argument, but not the indigenous's argument. Indigenous law is just so different, right? It's so connected and holistic. And so, yeah, it's been interesting. I'm so grateful. It's going to be finishing soon. And yeah, I'm happy, definitely happy to be here. I love working with Christina. That's awesome.
I love working with you. It's awesome. Cool. Thanks, Laurie. Might be able to meet that anger too. Anybody else? Any report? Yeah, Cheryl, go for it. Let's get you unmuted. I think you have to do it on your end. There you go.
All right, am I all good? Okay, I'm new to all this. I just wanted to share some good news. I'm a new grandma now, and I've decided to take the year off, and I wanted to join today just to get some good vibes and see what everybody else is doing with life. And my cat says hi, so pardon me for being twitchy.
Cats are welcome here. Hello, new grandbaby. Yay.
Yeah, she's 2 months old today, I think.
My younger cousin is a grandma. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited still.
Yeah, that's awesome. I saw some pictures on Facebook. Sweet. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Audrey, I think you had your hand. Yeah, go for it if you'd like. You know how to unmute?
Yes, I'm also a grandmother 20 years ago and continuing to be that. I've done a lot of process work with organizations in my rural neighborhood, my deep rural neighborhood, mostly in the arenas of agriculture, art, and the environment. Mm-hmm. Some of that relating to the indigenous community. And I'm pretty zoomed out. So I had reservations about clicking on this event just because it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon here. And but I thought it might provide something that my other kinds of associations have not. And I'm looking forward later on this afternoon to joining a circle of vaccinated women for the first time inside. So that's where I'm on a new threshold, I guess.
Thank you. Where are you geographically? Are you Canadian or
Western
American?
Minnesota?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for being here in a sunny afternoon. I get it with the Zoom fatigue and Zoom butt. Yeah, thanks. Not necessary to report, but I think we've heard from everybody. Denise, if there's a report you want to share, go right ahead.
Report. I'm sort of coming off or going to be coming off tomorrow of 10 really stressful days that are just job related and, you know, stuff happening related. And also coming off a weekend retreat with Christina, trying to get some, you know, things figured out or processed alone myself. So I'm a little squishy. Is that a word?
Good word.
So I'm not sure I have the strength to really come forward with a lot at this point. I would love to process or whatever.
Yep.
A little bit on the squishy side. So anyway, that's where I'm.
Makes sense. Squishy is welcome here. Thanks, Denise. Okay, I'm just gonna stand up because me with the Zoom butt, thankfully, I've been using my standing desk more and more, which is nice. Laurie, I think I'm gonna go with you and let's go meet the whole legal system and what's happening for you there, if that's okay by you.
Yep, that's great. Thank you.
Okay. Are you seeing my tablet okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Your bandwidth goes on and off a little bit, but it's not bad. I think we can work with it, but occasionally there'll be a delay. Just gonna see if I can angle this a little bit better. Hopefully I don't unplug anything. Okay. Okay, the word that caught me, understandably, caught my attention, is anger. So that might be a place to start, but I'm just gonna write a couple of the things that you shared. By the way, when I work with somebody, Denise said the perfect words, which is parallel processing. So chances are there's synchronicity going on about small group of us show up online at this time. So whatever's going to emerge, there might be some crossovers and some interesting parallel processing. So we just invite that. So as I work with Laurie, there may be some stuff that's definitely going on for her. So just see how it impacts your own nervous system. It might connect some dots and lead you to different places in your own life. Afterwards, we'll just kind of see how that has landed for people and if there's anything that wants to be shared. If there's not parallel processing, then just respectfully holding place or space for people. You can also think kind of like around a circle. There might even be a little fire in the middle. And if things get intense, I'm totally okay with intensity. But if you're wanting to help and aid, you can think about just kind of placing stuff, supporting the fire. And the person who's working, if you, hopefully you feel it anyway, but if you want some extra support, you kind of pull it out of the fire, right? And just helps galvanize you. So with that, so I'm just gonna go in with what you presented. So there was anger, there's indigenous, being indigenous, and then the good old law system, Western, colonial, and the map is never the territory. So as I write these things down, there's so much more that's in here, but it's a place to get it on the map, so to speak. So we're just gonna welcome all of that. And when I say things, you've done inquiry and stuff with me before. As I say things, there's, I've just evoked a fire between us, but I'm also evoking a coffee table. So I'm laying things on the coffee table, right? And so I'm laying them on for you, your everyday consciousness who I'm interacting with, but I'm also laying it on the coffee table for you to relay that to the larger part of your consciousness, which is connected to consciousness at large. So when I offer these different phrases or different angles of things, I'm offering it to you and us, right? And then you're my reporter. You're gonna let me know how it's landing on that side and what's happening, because that totally guides your consciousness, your reaction, your feedback loop is what's guiding me. Okay.
Okay.
So with everything that's kind of placed on the coffee table, I'm inviting you to say to it, hello. You are welcome here, all this stuff.
Hello.
You are welcome here. And inside, you know, it's weird because I do graphics, right? Because it's outside, part of you is going to track it. But with that that's going on inside you, as you expressed it, just kind of inside, do a hello there. And to the best of your ability, it doesn't even matter if the words don't land or they seem constructed, just say you're welcome here, because it's here. Right? It's your experience, it's here. And just see what happens as you say hello and you are welcome here. And we just all take a moment to be with it because this is big stuff. Just see what happens, and you're going to guide me.
Yeah, I just get the sense of a bit of relief, because I think maybe there is like I push away from it, right? It's just like it's too much. So like inviting it in and just recognizing that it's like a part of me, and there's going to be some great life lessons from all this. And I mean, there already has been, but yeah, I just felt a little bit calmer when I welcomed it.
Yep. Good. So there's a lot that just came out there. So we're going to piece by piece meet it. And there's a duality that's showing up, right? So first off, we're going to go, hello, relief, right? So as we meet something, typically that will happen is we'll get a smidgen of relief. So just, hello, relief, you are welcome here. And with that comes some calming in the nervous system too. And then there's also, so that's all yes, please, that stuff. Right? So just say, yes, please, you're right. We like it. We like relief. We like calm. Good idea. Then on the other side, there's a bit of no thank you, right? So there's and there's the intellect came in. Good thing you have one, going to law school and everything. And something strange just happened with my tablet. So let me just say, if anything happens with my tablet, anybody who's good with screenshotty, take a screenshot on your end. Usually it comes back again. So, and we can do this without tablet if need be. So we're gonna welcome intellect, because your mind popped up, and your mind, when the relief came, the mind reminded you about, oh yeah, what I normally feel is that push away thing, right? Where I'm trying to push it away. And so you wanna welcome intellect, that kind of made the connection to that, what I usually do stuff. And also thank it, because it's always love. It's always in service of you. Our left brains. And even this push away stuff, welcome it. Oh, you're welcome. And that too, that's love, right? That's of service. That's like a coping mechanism, probably a very smart one, so you don't get overwhelmed. So just welcome it. And welcome the great life lessons too. So this kind of dichotomy between these two, this push-pull, it's welcome. And maybe even just some real respect and gratitude you want to send towards this push away business. Because it's probably got, I'm feeling like personal historical roots, a family roots, culture roots, humanity roots, right? Like this is an old one, this push away stuff, understandably, for you as an individual and all of us as individuals dealing with stuff that's big. So just see what happens as that occurs, and maybe in the right ballpark, see what happens in your nervous system or wherever it pops.
Yeah, it definitely feels better to have gratitude for that push away, for sure.
Okay. And just say also, there's a big no thank you in here. So as much as there's gratitude, there's also the no thanks, right? Like towards the stuff, understandably, that you're encountering, that you're wanting to push away. That's part of why you're in law school as an Indigenous woman, right? I've heard your vision. You're wanting to change things. So just invite this real big, it's an authentic no thank you. And it might have some energy to it, right? You mentioned anger and understandable, justable, righteous anger and rage, if that's what's present. So just, you're right, we do not like it. And it might even go bigger into all my relations do not like it, right? Like you as a rep for family and lineage and community, because you're even carrying more as you go in there and rep that in the system.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. So feeling it all the time, we're just going to really respect that. That's a lot to hold and to feel all the time. And we might even want to say a little no thank you to all the time. There's a yes, please, because there's a lot of honor in it, right? What you're doing. And I could just really feel kind of ancestral forces, right? Like, so it's so honorable, but it's a lot for a person to hold, right? So there's a yes, please about you're so committed to the honorable role that you're playing and function. But there's, as an individual, there's some no thank you, I'm guessing, in there too. Because it's tough on a person to hold all that.
Yeah. And the other thing that I've noticed is that being connected to the law program, there's 120 students in each year. There's 3 years that like, because I'm an empath, I really get affected by their energy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm, I have some tools to
Well,
not be as affected,
that's another layer that's coming up. So your consciousness is now that you've met all that other stuff, now this next layer is coming up, right? And so just agree with it, because that's 120 people with a lot of stuff going on, and you're an empath, you're an energy worker. So, I mean, you literally did that as your profession. So talk about balancing an energy worker going into law school is amazing, right? So just give great respect to the consciousness that just popped up and said to you, hey, you're an empath and there's 120 students you're interacting with. And this is part of the being on all the time. This is also what's happening. So we're just gonna offer the you're right. And no thanks to the intensity. And probably a big bow, I'm just feeling, of respect to your gifts, right? So your empathy, your empathic gifts, your healing gifts. Big bow to that. And they don't have to, you're not responsible for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So some boundaries. Empaths, it's usually a little tough with us with boundaries. So here's these 120 people that you're amorphously, you got enough of your own and your lineage stuff. Now you're in with swimming with 120 of them. Yeah. So just see what happens as you encounter that. And as your consciousness is bringing this like the right brain's fobbing stuff over to the left brain, right? And it's landing, the left brain's going, the intellect's like, whoa, yeah, that's part of what has been going on here, isn't it? Yeah. Now what happens? What do you notice?
Well, I could just kind of, as soon as you said boundaries, it just was clear that I could be a part of it without having to feel everything.
Okay, there's some wisdom. Yeah, good idea. Yes, please. Just gonna get your words down. Part of everything without, help me finish it.
Without feeling everything.
Yeah, good idea. We're gonna invite this part of you, this wisdom, right? You've already got it, but it's probably an invitation for it to enlarge, to expand, to liberate even more. So just to that, your brain doesn't have to know how to do it. Your right brain's gonna know how. So just invite it. Hey, would you like to get larger? Whoever just popped up here, this thing about I can be part of everything without having to feel everything. Let's invite that to get bigger. It's gonna know how. and your system's going to guide me, right? The invitation is, psst, your consciousness, you can get even bigger on this if you care to. Thank you for piping up. And just see with that invitation, it'll know if it wants to rise up, root down, extend, or not, right? It's guiding us.
Yeah, it does want to get bigger, and that's interesting. I used to do a sort of a visualization of making my energy as big as the room, as big as the house, as big as the town, as big, you know, that one. And I haven't for a while, so definitely been keeping myself small.
Okay.
Which is probably not helping with my pain and health issues.
Okay. So just a little bout of the intellect, because the intellect is tracking and agreeing with what's going on here. So we just want to thank you. Glad you agree, because it did a whole scan and it computed it. It agreed, and it might be a little floggy too, right? Like a little flogging you, like, hey, you're an energy worker and you forgot this. So we'll just like, okay, intellect, it's okay. No need to be judgy here. And then just back to this, oh yeah, good idea. So it right now, right, it'll find the calibration, like you're saying, as big as a house, as big as a whatever. Tell it, go as big as you need to for this situation. Because this, you've never been in this situation before, right? So this is kind of, so see as it's given that expansion, where it goes to. What's its right size? What's its desire? What's its wisdom?
Oh, it wants to be really big, like, you know, to infinity sort of.
Ooh, yes, please. Okay,
size.
Great. Okay, good. So to infinity and beyond. Some TV show or movie, yeah. To infinity and beyond was mine. So just agree with that, and just, it may already be doing it. Just allow that expansion. This is somatic, right? Get the head out of it. Just let that body do. And it sounds like it's even moving beyond the body's field, right? Because it's going to infinity. So yes, please, good idea. Go for it. See what happens as it expands. You might you might hit a yeah but, or you might just be able to, oh, go big, go to infinity.
Yeah, I don't feel any yeah buts. It just, yeah, it just feels like a relief again, just to have that big energy to match the big whole thing I've been going through.
Yes, good. Yeah, because it's too much for your frame. So this is beautiful. Now you're going big to infinity. Infinity can hold it. Great. Okay, that might be it. So just see if there's anything else that wants to pop out. This will be your edge, right? To make this more familiar. Calibrate to this bigness. Just check to see if there's anything else that wants to come out while I'm here and taking notes and stuff. Or is this a place to leave it? It'll inform us.
Oh yeah, there's another big thing I'm dealing with. I don't want to get into it too much, but it's helping with it too. Just school will most likely be in person in September, and so that just raises some big issues around the parenting time and relocating with my son. So just some relief with that whole thing too, with my energy being bigger.
Okay, very good. So we'll just put that return in person. And then childcare, would that be the way to sum it up?
Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go there. And so it partially helped. Going big brought some relief for the care of your son, right? While you have to go back to school, because it's been a little easier, even though that's hard to go to school while you have your child right there. But it's a whole other kettle of fish that's kind of emerging here as you have to return in person. Now, it only partially got taken care of, I'm guessing, from the beg. So let's go into what unfolds then. What's there, but is there a yeah, but around the childcare stuff?
Well, it just involves communicating with his dad, which is not, doesn't ever usually go that well. So,
Okay. So here's his dad. Hello, his dad. You're welcome here. He has made appearances on Constellation Floors, yes? Yeah.
yeah, just some awareness, like it's just not an easy situation, and things that would seem to be easy have been hard to communicate with. So it's just sort of, it's a thing.
Okay, so you got another polarity. You've got easy and hard.
Yeah.
So yes, please to the easy. No thanks to the hard.
Yeah.
And just say, you're right, you're right. We don't like it. We don't like this hard with the communication stuff. No, thank you. As communication happens.
Yeah, he's just playing with a friend online.
Yeah. So just see what happens as you meet that hard and agree with it. You're right, it's hard. This communication stuff with my father, or the father of my son.
Yeah, my poor head, I'm always trying to be strategic, so my head's just not.
Okay, so
like,
let's go to,
had
yeah.
enough with it, I think.
Yeah. So let's go to the head and just tell the head, because it's the head's trying to do it and it's hurting the head. So
Yeah.
just agree. You're right. We don't like it. And the whole trying to figure it all out in the head. And we need to liberate the head.
Yeah, my head's already like got like loads and loads of information that it's trying to process.
Yep.
Like 7 courses each semester.
Yeah. So the poor head needs some infinity too. So it's kind of showing it needs some liberation. So let's first off, a lot of attaboys, girls, whatever pronouns of your head is, right? Of thanking the head and just really deep respect, because we all need it. And especially when you're in school in a Western system, it's even more emphasized. So just tell it, good job. And I appreciate you and thank you for your love. Thank you for your service. And it probably wants in on some of this infinity stuff, like I'm saying, right? So if you want in on some of this, your consciousness too, intellect. I can feel it like with all those books. It's like, rest, put down some of those books. What happens as we invite it to, as you appreciate it and as you invite it to rest, to even give it the possibility of the idea of rest? How does it respond?
Yeah, definitely feeling some calmness. And a song that pops into my head sometimes, it actually started before Alvin was born, so it's been about 8 years, but every once in a while, I don't even know the whole song, but something about free your mind and the rest will happen.
Oh, rest will follow. Yeah.
Rest will follow.
Yeah. Free your mind and the rest will follow.
So that just came into my head again.
Yeah. Rest will follow. Good. Excellent. Totally fits in. So just that's just a recognition. Thank you, right brain. Good one, right? Lyrics are a great way to get it across. So good idea. Yes, let's free the mind and the rest will follow. So mind is agreeing. And so just say to mind, we're going to exactly do that. We're going to free the mind. And you can even go to that infinity feeling and invite the same thing. Mind doesn't have to be just stuck in the cranium. So you're going to go, mind, go beyond. You too, go for it. It's being given an invitation to expand and to free itself. See what it does. It'll know how to do it because it's consciousness. And then it got confused and locked into this little cranium. And now we're reminding it again, it doesn't have to be stuck there. See what happens as that's presented to it.
Yeah, I can just see the expansion and like a bright light expanding.
Yes, please. Good. Go with that.
Yeah, now my shoulders want the same thing.
Yeah. So yes, please. Everybody can get in on it. Yes, please. Some liberation from the shoulders too. So same thing, shoulders. Body sometimes forgets that it's more than just the physical body. And we want to thank it too, because our physical bodies do so much for us. They too are in service and love of us. So just thank it for all it's been holding and for it being crammed into this little body, this human being with all this big stuff. And you're not going to be lost in the shuffle here, body. You get to liberate too. Yes, please. Shoulders, good idea. Shoulders, you know how to do it. Your consciousness, you got all locked into this skeletal, muscular, skeletal kind of stuff. So what's your pleasure? What's your greatest longing? It'll inform you. What's it want to do?
Yeah, I just want some softness, some ease and grace. And
Nice. Yes, please. Good idea. So directing your wish is my desire. So softness, ease, grace for those shoulders. Yes, please. By all means. If there's any abbots, let me know. Otherwise, just inviting and going with softness, ease, and grace.
no, the shoulders are pretty happy now. It moved to like my middle back, and my right hip has been an ongoing thing. So
Okay, good. So we're moving down through the somatic. Now we're aware of the hip. So just hello, you're welcome here. I see you, I feel you. Oh yes, my old friend there in the hip and how I hold stuff there. And it wants in on the liberation game too, understandably. Why should the rest of the body get it and it doesn't? So just to it, your consciousness too, hip. You're not just locked into this little body frame. What's your pleasure? What's your deepest longing?
yeah, there's a block there, and it's just like a rock or cement or something. So I don't know exactly what it's about.
Well,
I guess
we're just going to meet that. So hello rock, hello cement, hello block. You're welcome here because you're here. We're encountering you. You are consciousness too. And ask it what's behind it. Before it was a rock, before it was a block and it went rock and cement, it was something else. What was it before that?
I'm just like I think it was fear.
Okay, the mind is computing and saying it's fear. Okay. So something happened and it was fear, and that resulted in some constriction, tightness, right? So the hip did its thing in contracting to that fear. So just thank it for that information. That's interesting information. And it would make sense when you encounter fear that rock and cement would happen. And so just maybe it's the same thing, softness, ease, grace. What does it need to encounter the fear? It might need to go bigger too. because it's a different perspective, right? When we're small and we encounter that stuff, it can seem overwhelming, but if you go bigger, it puts it in perspective. See how it responds to that. I said a lot, so just see if any of it lands.
Yeah, I think it just needs a bit of recognition of, you know, the inner child, and just my parents were super young when they had me. And so, and everything that happened when I was a child, there just wasn't this like feeling of safety, right?
Okay, very good. So this is history. This is personal history and orphan work. So just agree, and just the come here, go scoop up that little you and bring her close and agree with her. You're right. It wasn't safe. I'm here now. I got you. Come with me. They were young. They didn't know what they're doing. There's bigger stuff there, right? There's bigger context there. You're too little to understand. You don't have to. The important thing is, let me comfort you. See what happens is you pull her close and you comfort her and you keep her safe. Hush, hush.
Yeah, I think the earlier years feel comforted. It's just, I think it's interesting that my son is 8 and my parents divorced when I was 8. So I had a big change there. I might be coming up to that with him being that age.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank the intellect. The intellect just made the connecting the dots, right? So not only do you have all this other stuff going on, but there's also a pattern, an important highlight, developmental thing that's mirroring with your son, right? So your own divorce of your parents and all that, I'm going to guess, tumultuousness, right? It's in the field. So it's another layer that's going on in the midst of all this other incredible stuff happening in this 2021-22 period, right? So just deep recognition of the overlay between the 8-year-olds. Yeah. And welcoming the tears and the sorrow, whatever that is, just welcoming it.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like I don't often connect it with like the breakup of my marriage, which is like the separation happened 5 years ago, right? But this is like now something that my son is having to go through too, right?
Yeah. And so now that frozen, that block, right, that rock is melting. So as the tears are coming on, yeah. So just agreeing, you're right. This has been big stuff, and I've had to cope and kind of bulldoze through, and we're appreciating that ability, right? Learned long ago, probably. And now it's safe. It's all coming into consciousness. Come here. I got you. It's upsetting then. It's upsetting now. There's concern here.
I just felt the big difference of like, you know, me parenting my son. I'm just so aware, you know, like I was 40 when I had him. My mom was 15 when she had me. It's just such a big difference, right? Like, I'm super aware. I know for a fact I help Alvin with all his emotional stuff, and I didn't have that. So it's just, it's night and day, right?
Let's agree with that. It is night and day. And that juxtaposition of being a 15-year-old mom versus a 40-year-old mom. And maybe from the adult woman consciousness that you have, sending love to mom as a 15-year-old. the child having a child. And even bring in your future self, right? There might be some understandable stuff. If there's stuff in the now as the 40-year-old that makes it a little complicated to fully beam that love to mom, then bring in allies, right? Bring in anybody you have internally or externally who has that capacity to honor that 15-year-old, you know, those parents, those young parents. What's going on for you as you do that?
Oh, it was pretty cool. Like, my mom has 4 sisters, and they all had kids really young.
Mm-hmm.
So I just sent love to all of them.
Oh, beautiful. Let's get the four sisters.
My all my grandmas. I have, because of step grandparents, I have 5. I have 5 grandmas.
Mm-hmm.
So all of them wanted to
get in on the love fest. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yes, grandmothers. Thank you. Ooh, goosebumps. Yeah. They got the bigger picture, and they got the open hearts, and they can hold. Yeah. So all those young moms and those complex kind of systems and legacy of why that came into being, just really, they get to be held and seen and appreciated and adored. Even though there's complications and stuff happens, right? It's okay, it's okay. Hush, hush. Let's see what unfolds from here. You're doing beautifully. Just a deep bow to the grandmothers and grandmother medicine. Real healthy integrated grandmas. If you don't have a healthy integrated grandma, piggyback off of these grandmothers. Go way, way back in the lineage. There'll be some women there who are able to do it.
Yeah, my great grandma is showing up too. She was a Haida princess, and her Haida name meant woman whose voice is heard.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome her. Yes, please. In your beautiful name of voice being heard, you're welcome here. Haida princess. Whoa. Yes, please. What a blessing. Have her show up. Just the love that she bears, and the regalness and the pain too. All of it. That strength.
Oh, I just had a really touching memory of, we always kissed her cheek when we saw her. That was, always what we did. And, even when she was, I got to spend a lot of time with her in her last year because I lived with my grandma, which was her daughter, and her skin was always so soft, even though she was, 83. Like I could almost feel it.
We'll feel it right now. She's communicating across the veil. Yeah. Feel the kisses back and forth, the love. Yeah. And the softness. There's another way for you to access softness. Yes, please. Yeah. And the matriarchal lineage. Yeah. And you can bring that to, I'm just getting, that's part of what you bring into the system, right? This is happening for you personally, but this is also, if you care to, you can bring that energy in. Your grandmothers and great grandmother and the Haida princess line lineage, right? That's the wealth of what comes with that. You need some big backup. So this is some big backup. This is some big resourcing. Allies for you, love for you, as you go about your mission here in the now, right? And working through this crazy Western legal system at this time and place. and everything that comes with it as a woman, juggling an ex-husband and child. Yeah. And your own continuing evolution and healing. Big backup.
I just had a really cool realization of like my great grandma, her daughter, it's my dad's mom, and
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't getting along with my parents, so I went to live with my grandma grade 10, 11, and 12. And I mean, I've realized before I wouldn't have had that connection as much with my dad's side of the family without that.
Mm-hmm.
And but just at a deeper level, like my connection to my culture
Mm-hmm.
kind of started then. My great aunt was a famous First Nations artist, Haida Deasing. And so I got exposed to some of that in a way I wouldn't have otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Goosey bumps. So now your great aunt and this whole connection to your culture, yes, please. And it's probably really big already, but just invite it to liberate, it to get bigger. Yes, please. Bless, please. I really need you, right? I need you here. Come with me, help me, assist me. However you have it in your field right now, just to it, your consciousness, you can get bigger. See how it'll know its wisdom of what bigger means to, if it wants to get bigger, and then how to do it. Sometimes it's up, down, out. Just see what happens as this invitation is extended. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, I can see like a link just right at a cellular level and a spiral.
Yes, please. Good. Spiral, cellular level, DNA, RNA. Good idea. Yes, please.
One thing that I haven't really utilized that I think will be helpful in this law school journey is like I'm British and I'm a bit Scottish, a bit Irish, I'm a kind of a mix of a bunch of
Yep.
sort of white things.
Yep.
I'm like a third First Nations, and for the last like 5 years I've kind of like just ignored that part of me.
Yep. It's coming to recognition.
Indigenous part of me, but
yeah. Now they're coming on. All your relatives want to get in on this. So now they're coming, right? So yes to the Scottish, yes to the colonialist, yes to the white, right? All those configurations that are with you. So just the same thing with this allyship. And sometimes when people pass too, there's a lot that's being sorted out, rightfully so, with the whole colonial past here in Canada and elsewhere in the world, right? And those that have passed or are on the other side of the veil, they've got a perspective and they've got some skin in the game, right? For this unfoldment, literally. So just inviting that, yes, please, yes, please.
Yeah, now my grandpas are here. My dad's dad, his family was all British from New Zealand, and then he grew up in Saskatchewan, and then my mom's dad was sort of a mix of everything. I think I had a dream about them last night, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I don't really remember it, but I'm just getting a sense that I dreamed about them.
Yep. So welcoming the grandpas. You've got the grandmothers, and now the grandpas on the other side of the lineage are coming. Mm-hmm. Yes, please. Yes, please. Sometimes they're part of bigger systems too, and who knows where their power was, but for whatever reason, they're showing their interest in you, right? And their support as you do what you're doing in this system, in this legal system, what you're going to do with it beyond. So yes, please, to the white side and the grandpas. And from all over, right? You're quoting Scotland and New Zealand, all these different far-flung places. And here you are in British Columbia. Yes, please. roots and lineages and family trees going across the globe.
Oh, and my other great grandma, my dad's grandma, her house always smelled like a cellar, and she had spiders and puzzles. She loved puzzles, and she snort laughed, which me and my cousins will like sometimes do that if we're laughing really hard. Like we'll laugh and kind of snort, and then one time me and my brother and my cousin were laughing so hard and then we started snort laughing. And anyways, all those memories just flushed back to me.
Yeah,
She's
communicating. Yeah. So just laughing, and just how great with the laughing so much that it's a snort laugh. Yes, please. Yes, please. And just feeling that love and that humor. That's what's so needed too in these tough systems, right? To keep you going and keep you balanced. Yes, please. Yeah. That grandmother's piping up too. Me too. He's mimicking too, as the chorus is happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just deep, I can feel them embracing you, you embracing back, right? Just the chorus of your multitude of ancestors who are here for you, who are aware of what you're doing, who love you, who support you, who can help you carry this. And just thanking them. Thank you, thank you. Yes, please. And just inviting in your own somatic, in your own fields, just a larger awareness of this. It was already there to some extent, but now it's getting bigger. So just yes, please. Yes, please. Invite it to expand, to liberate. It'll know how, big, out, down, whatever its pleasure is. And just let me know your report. This might be the work. This might be the place to get to. And this becomes your kind of new normal that you equate to. How's that, Laurie? Is that a natural place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm super grateful. I can actually feel some energy going down my right leg and out my right foot, which I never usually experience because of that block in my hip.
Oh, good, good. So thank the hip. Thank the hip for giving you the sign that helped. And that's now got the energy flow going. Yes, please. Block is dissipated. The energy is now flowing. And the foot is normally a forward moving kind of thing too. So whatever the symbolism of the foot is, yes, please. Good idea. We like that.
Yeah, and then one just big thank you to my Heisla, which is my mom's side, back 8 generations in our family tree. There's some French too. I think it was my way back at that 8th level. My great whatever grandma married a French sailor or something.
How do you spell Heisla? I just want to be respectful and get it right.
It's Haisla.
Good, got it. Yes, please. So they're popping in too. They're like, before you go, let us get in here.
Yeah.
Right? So we're here too. The French is here. The Heisla is here. We're here. We're here. You can call on us. We're helping. We're aware. Yes, please. Nice, 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 nice. And just feeling, I can feel it in my back, right? So I don't know where you're feeling, but I just feel the support, right? Like the hands on the back. We got your back. They literally are your back, right? Because you come from them and you're their forward. But just feel that energy coming through down those ancestral lines, right? And through your left and your right, the masculine and the feminine being repped, and all those various places and geographies and races, right? All coming together into the unique blend of you. They're there. and falling back, right? Being held, like the trust fall, right? Because how you've been doing the first year of law school, okay, you got through, but now it's growing you to like, let's do it this way. Let's do it with them. Let's go in there with this. Yeah, with these people. Yeah, with this community and support. Yes, please. Whew, goosey bumps. Thank you, Laurie.
Thank you.
Just let it unfold and just deep bow, bow offerings, respect to your ancestors. I can feel my own showing up and popping up with Cheryl being here too. So just a deep bow to our ancestry. We have a patriarchal line, so we both have our separate matriarchal lines. So we're bowing to our mother's lines and our father line that we have in common. Yeah. And just wish you all the best. Maybe even adding our own support right from the Sangha, the intimate Sangha here, offering our support and Atta girls and love for this unfoldment with the law school as you continue.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna find somewhere I have a mouse. Let me just stop the share. I'll continue to putter on this and color and do various things, and it'll be sent out to you so you've got a copy of it. But the map is not the territory, it's all inside of you, as you know, right? What you energetically did and that connection you now have. And that would be the work, if there was any homework, right, is just grok in this. Meditate in this. Yeah. Okay, we never know what's going to happen. So this is what happened today. What an honor, Laurie. Beautiful work. And let's just pass around the mic if you care to. If there's any, you can use chat too if you want to send Laurie any notes. That might have already been happening. Feel free if there's any personal notes you want to send her, you can use chat. And then if there's anything you want to say to Laurie or about your own personal processing, about how you might have connected in with the work she was doing, anything you want to share to close out. I'll just pass the mic. Cheryl, I see you first, so.
Okay, had to find the unmute me button. No, I would just like to say thank you, Laurie, and glad I can help you sort through your stuff, sweetheart. You helped me sort through a lot today as well.
Thanks,
Have
Cheryl.
a great journey, lady. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're
Kristen?
very welcome.
Thank you, Laurie. It was a privilege to be here with you and witness that, how powerful it was. I look forward to, I've been in a past container with you before, so it's wonderful to hear. It was before you had done this year, the last I remember, just how.
See the development.
Yeah.
Here now, she's doing it.
Yeah, and just how powerful and courageous you are. And I love that when you talked about, I think it was your great grandmother, and what was the meaning of her name? Voice, something to do with voice, right? And then I looked up and all I saw was big on there, and I thought that's you, like you're called to use your big powerful voice. And there's so many, it was just exciting to see so many people standing behind you and supporting you in that. And I would offer my support for my corner of the world too, which isn't far from you, I believe. And just on a personal note, there was something really valuable for me when you were sending love to your young mom, and I just thought, oh, sometimes I'm a bit critical to my mom, and she became a mom at 18, which is was fairly young too, and I became a mom when I was 20, and that's pretty young too. And I can sometimes be hard on my younger self, and so I kind of picked up on a little bit of that love you're sending to young moms. So I appreciate that. There was compassion for myself and for my family when that was happening. Thank you.
Sweet. Yes, it was very powerful, very loving. Thanks, Kristen. Hi, Denise. Anything you want to say to conclude?
I feel extremely honored that this process unfolded like it did. It was such an, I don't have a word for how it evolved, but you went from freeing your energetic self to freeing your mind, and then your shoulders and your back and your hip. And then you talked about your legal system and how you are advocating for those that need freedom from whatever it is that may be. And then all of these allies showed up, and like they were honoring what your purpose is, which would be this exact thing in your profession, let alone personally in your life. It just was such a overall empowerment that I like just watching the example of that was, the words don't come. I'm sorry. It just doesn't, because
Oh, they're coming beautifully. Mm-hmm.
it's so, we all need this. We all need the support energetically, physically, personally, job-wise, family. I mean, it all is a big us. And or you, I should say. I shouldn't own you, sorry. But
it operates at the universal too. That's what I'm hearing
Yeah.
you say, Denise, and resonate with. Yeah.
but I see them honoring what you're trying to train to do. And it's a big, big deal. So wow. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
He
Sorry, he's
agrees.
getting frustrated on his video game. Hey, Alvin, I'm just talking for a second, okay? Denise, thank you for something you said just really clicked for me about the ancestors helping with my purpose, because like I literally have been trying to figure out my purpose since I was 5 years old. I was in kindergarten talking about it, and my son lately has started being upset about him not having a purpose, and so I'm having to work through that with him. And so using the ancestors will be a great tool for him too. So thank you so much, everyone, for holding the space. I know I've been like really diving deep into my inner work for a long time, and this last year has broken me down, built me up. I can't even explain what this last year has been about, but I have found like some inner strength that I couldn't even imagine that I had, right? Like it's just been just so intense and so hard, and it's just been really strange, but I'm coming through to the end, and just learning so much, and I'm grateful for this big shift because I definitely needed it. So I'm very grateful.
Wondering if there's anything that you can do symbolic wise, whether it's pictures or drawing or figurines or stones, right? To just, for all the reps who came to support you, right, from your lineage, to somehow do something in the physical so that you can see that. And it doesn't have to be something hard. That's why I was thinking maybe even pebbles or something, right? Pine cones. I don't know. You'll know, right? But that's something that just popped.
Yeah, I think you're right. Something will come along. I smudge every day and connect with my ancestors that way. So maybe it'll just be a bit more profound.
Well, and then yeah, you'll find your way. Maybe it's just continued subtle energy, or there's something that you bring it into the physical plane. That's symbolic. Even just as you do something like that, even if it's gathering, pieces of nature, together and taking a photo, and that photo can go on your phone with you, or it's your screensaver or something on your phone, right? So as you go back into that environment, there's a physical representation accompanying you. Yeah. To be continued. You'll have to give us a report. Yeah. And Denise, I would say too that there's probably some parallel processing. So you too, you can go to the lineage, and I know the lineage is problematic, but go beg and be a selective sifter. Because when you go beg, right, you can just skip all those ones, but there'll be some who are paying attention and they're helping you with your mission. So you're healing your mission, right? And so same thing of finding that feeling place of ones behind you who actually have your back. Yeah. And that can change things energetically, because understandably there's ones who don't. So screw them and focus on the ones who do, right? And the nice thing with family trees, I forget the math, and there's a wonderful graphic that shows it, but we start with 2, then it goes 4, then it goes 8, then it goes 16, then it goes 30, you know, blah, 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 blah. Then you're talking a whole heck of a lot of people, right? So then you really have access to a wealth of resources and allies in there. And that can be a game changer in terms of having a different felt experience with what's behind. Yeah. So to be continued on that too. And we'll hear the reports, but I hear a real nugget. And I also resonate with the mission word, because I feel that with you too, that you're on a big mission with what you're doing with your lineage, as Laurie is representing how she's doing it in her unique way. You're doing it in your unique way too. I know, she's like, what? So it's okay. Your intellect and mind can balk at that and go, does not compute, but that's okay. It'll unfold. I know it computes. I can hold that for you if you can't at this point in time. Okay, everybody, this is who we were today. So thank you for coming. What a pleasure and delight. Wish you all the best. What happens from here? Like I said, I'll putter with the graphic. Patricia, my assistant, will take it and the recording and send it out. Always check with filters nowadays, especially if you're using like Gmail. It tends to stick my communications into the spam or promotions folder or something. So you just have to make sure you tick us like you want to receive us in your usual inbox, and that will help the process of it showing up. You can always go to the YouTube channel. It'll be posted there. Pat turns it around. And there's a page on my site that has it as well. So if you're ever looking for your maps or something and they're not showing up in your inbox. I also intuitively go to the calendar and figure out when I'm going to do this next. And it varies. It's usually a couple of weeks from now. So I'll do that. And the communication that goes out will say whatever I've determined will be the next one. And you'll continue to receive those communications as long too. It's just a one-time registration, and then you're on that particular list and you can opt out at any time. Kristen had mentioned visual coach certification. Looks like we have a full cohort. There's still a couple of people who are slipping in even fuller beyond what I wanted to do. I wanted a smaller cohort, but it looks like we're going to end up with around 15 people from all over the world for visual coach certification. So this one's pretty full, but there is another one coming up in the fall. And there's also a sketch club. The one course still left that I'll start to promote soon enough is with my colleague Rhoda Draw and I. And Rhoda is just a wonderful urban sketcher and artist at large. And she's in San Miguel, Mexico. We have done in-person retreats and stuff together. With the current situation, they're on hold, but we are going to continue with our online connection. So there's a fast and loose sketching club coming up starting in April, I believe, the first week of April. So you're on my email list. You'll start to see those notes if that's of interest. And a lot of people are attracted to me or interested in what I'm doing process-wise with the visuals. So that fast and loose sketching comes in handy for that. But it's just enjoyable in and of itself. This is one of the few courses I run that's like a standalone, and you don't have to be into process work to come to it. It's a meditative act itself to just get into sketching, right? And gives us a nice balance with other things going on in the world at large. Okay, I think I'll conclude there. So thanks. Take good care. Nice Sunday. Bye for now. Feel free to unmute and say bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye, ladies.
Bye. Take care.
You too, Christina.